And so here we are today on this beautiful solar day, spiraling out into creation. Yesterday in the evening, many of you actually sent me an email about the comet that now was detected. That is a spiral, very unusual. I don't think a spiral comet has been seen before. And so not only the atmosphere of the Earth is now spiraling, but now we have spiraling comets coming to our solar system. That will, of course, bring incredible energy to our sun and the solar system that we are part of. And so keep spiraling. I keep building my spirals. I hear and see here in the chat, everybody's building so many wonderful spirals. And so we are just doing what needs to be done. And so today I found this beautiful image of our beloved Divine Mother Lakshmi here in one of her beautiful forms with her favorite elephants. And so today we will be speaking about creation and how creation is created through us in this world, specifically focusing on this world, what went so well and what didn't go so well, and then how to actually move through what we have here right now. And so again, since 2017, Divine Mother has been coming to me and revealing so many wonderful secrets about so many things. It was really overwhelming first, and she would always kind of knock me out of my body because I was already traveling out of body. And actually, some of the things happen out of body, some of things did not happen out of body. But when I was out of body with Divine Mother, I have better perception. And so one day she's taking me to the land of Mu. And I found myself being in the land of Mu, not as me here, this person that I am right now, but as actually my ancient being that was part of Mu. And so I was in the body now of my Mu person. That was not even a person, but I was able to observe how creation worked in Mu and what was happening. And I saw that everything once upon a time was really wonderful. We were all just having so much fun creating. The rainbow light was flowing through us as a life force, and we gave it our own essence. And so everything became like a unique creation through us. So I know probably all of us were in Mu at that time. And so it was very easy. The light would flow in, we would receive it through our hearts, but also we would receive it through our higher mind. So almost like a funnel above you, part of your light body, where you didn't have the physicality we have today. And then our unique essence, our unique tone that is within us would kind of go through this alchemical process in which our hearts would give shape and form to that life force. And because we were all beings in love, everything that then came out of us was just love. But now our creation with our own unique essence, our own unique inspiration, we were truly expanding creation into more unique forms. And that was very delightful. Every single one of us was completely conscious. We didn't know unconsciousness. And so everything was a creation of love. And then our higher mind didn't work the way that our human mind works now. We didn't have the constant thinking, all these distorted thoughts that are out of control. We didn't have those at all. There was complete, kind of almost like emptiness. And so this emptiness allowed us to perceive really our divine consciousness without distortions. But we did have the higher mind that would be kind of working together with the heart. And so the heart and the higher mind were the creative tools that we had. I call it the architecture. And so as this light of God, the love of God, the source light would come through us, we would then express it through love into more. And if that requires some kind of, design, then the higher mind would be the one who creates the design. The heart would be the one that is inspired. So these two centers were really important to us. And there was nothing that would be distorted. There was no such thing as creating suffering, but we were constantly in a process of innovation. That's also really important. So you could call innovation, in a way, improvement, improving upon our skills of creation. So when creation came out of us as a manifestation, we would look at it. And if we wanted to add to it, if we wanted to innovate and improve, which really was the purpose of creation, then we would. So there was no such thing as dissatisfaction with what is, because we knew that the power is always within us and that the power is always flowing through us. So this is really important because we are returning to that knowing again. Then, as I was in Mu, Divine Mother showed me when unconsciousness entered planet Earth and how it was like you could compare it to, let's say, that all the waters of this planet were clean, meaning we were only in clean consciousness, we are always in love. And then this dirt entered this world. And because it was a lot of dirt entering this world, soon our waters would be dirty. And I mean the waters of our consciousness. And so then you have, it's like, having a glass of water and pouring some black ink into the glass. So now you have a situation of the black and white, and now you have a situation of actually consciousness and unconsciousness. And so we have been dealing with this situation ever since. So that means that the water that our consciousness was now became tainted. And that created actually this unconscious creation that led also to such huge illusion, suffering, and pain. So then Divine Mother would take me to her elephants. And this is, I have told this story many times, but this is such a wonderful teaching experience that she gave. And so I'd like to review that one before we move to the next story of creation. And so, as now we had unconsciousness, it would create suffering, but it also created this illusion that now reality is on the outside of us and that we have to react to reality with liking or disliking, loving or hating. So that created this out of balance, distorted duality that I often speak about, which really is fundamental. Sorry, I moved my slides today, so here. So now we had, instead of being in the center, in that sacred portal of the heart, that was a receiver, and that was constantly creating beauty and perfection and then innovation. We now had some kind of outcome on the outside that now was tainted. It was tainted through the unconsciousness that came into this world, and it really poisoned all of us, as you can tell today. And so then our reality would become a reflection of that. So it no longer was a clean reality, it became that tainted reality. And so the mirror of this world started showing us miscreations. So normally what we would do if we see miscreations, we would again go within, we would center in the center of the heart, we would connect to our own higher power that is flowing through us, and we would again start giving birth to beautiful, innovative realities. But that was not so easy, as all of you know, because instead what we all started to do is that we got actually really fixed on the thing that it was outside of us. We can call it reality, but we can also call it an illusion, but we can call it creation with some flaws, because now it was painful or it was very pleasurable. And so we started to want to change those conditions on the outside by running to those conditions in a way as if we were running to the screen of our life, as if we were running to the mirror and saying, I don't like what I see. And so instead of going within and changing our own internal process, we would constantly be focusing on the outside. And then we built, all of us, right, in this world, these preferences, what I like, what I don't like, constantly going into the thought process, which has been completely hijacked for all of us here. And so we would have thoughts that would be constantly just like bullets, shooting at the screen of this reality, saying, oh, I like this, I don't like this, I like this, I don't like this, I want this, I don't want that. But it actually was creating constantly the opposite of itself. The pendulum, if it swings too far right, it has to go back far left. And so if we constantly focus on, I just want this, I want this, I want this, then all the other things that we don't want also get manifested. That is the law of the Tao. That is the law of creation when it is out of balance. So the only way to stop running to the screen of the movie that's already playing in front of us, the movie is playing in front of us right now. The movie that we call our life is already set in motion. And it is set in motion by all our past, our own past, really, all of it. And so what we see here today is just the result of the past. It's like making a movie. You have to hire the actors, you have to write the plot, you have to make it interesting, right? And then you try to resolve something to come to a happy end. So that's basically our life. So our soul really is incredibly involved in all these movies that are our lives. But the thing is that as we started to misunderstand what reality is, and we were constantly pointing at the movie, imagine yourself in the movie theater, and now you are in the audience, and it's the movie of your life, and you're watching it, and you hate it, or you just don't like it, or there is something about it you don't like. And now you run to the screen and you start pointing at the screen and you say to some of the characters, I don't like you at all. Or I don't like this condition. I don't want this condition. So that's exactly what happened in this world. We all started to do that. Instead of going within and getting in touch with the movie director. And so who is the movie director? Well, originally it is the Great Spirit, but we do have also souls, and the souls for us also are our, maybe the assistant director. And so the soul has been very much engaged in all its dreaming. And what happened with these characters when unconsciousness, kind of came to the earth, is that the characters down here were no longer creating only out of love. And so you can say that they were no longer aligning with divine will. Divine will is always good. Divine will is always love. Divine will, actually, there's a little dichotomy to all of this, and I'll explain it in a moment. So even though we might think that all the good things are in the angel here on the right, actually the true good things are beyond duality in the center. In the center, all is good. In the center, all is love. And so these two extremes, right and left, they are the illusion. So to be able to change something that is already set in motion by all these massive influences that exist within our soul, we cannot try to change it by running to the screen. We do want to run inside very often, every day, to get in touch with the true movie director, and that is not our personality. And so our personality is filled with judgments because we have been conditioned also in this world, of course, with our likes and dislikes, and we are in a habit of likes and dislikes. We are in the habit of thought. As a human being, probably we are very habitual beyond what we can even imagine. And so then our habits that are actually our thoughts of the lower human mind are creating and affirming what already is, and then only interacting with that which already is, instead of going within and giving birth to the new you. The new us is within us too, and the new us is not driven by habits that might be even from past lives or this lifetime. And these habits are mainly our state of being. So we are very often in a very habitual state of being. For example, we speak about someone and we say, oh yeah, I know Jane. Jane is like this. And that is just describing the habit of some person who is in a habitual state of being instead of being the new you. So the new us is within us all, and it is our divine self. We want to go to the director, the Great Spirit, through our heart and then through the elevator of our spine. That is our structure. And then gain this new inspiration for that which we want to create in this world, not because we like or dislike, but because we are now a pure channel for pure divine consciousness where there is no distorted duality. There is only that which the divine self represents. And so in the center, there is no duality. In the center, there is also no polarity that would be distorted. Distortion means I prefer this condition over that condition. That's why the new thing that Divine Mother gave us recently is just bless it all. Create this amazing practice of just blessing it all without being attached to this or that, because the only thing to be attached to is actually the new you within thyself. So this is not easy because, of course, I always say, you know, when conditions are really difficult, then it seems like the most impossible thing to bless all things and to go within and to center yourself in all love that you are and all goodness that is within, because the conditions are pulling on your sleeve saying, come my way, you know, dragging us down, or the very good conditions on the right here, the little angel also saying, oh, you didn't want poverty, let me take you, just you need to desire just abundance so that you are in the opposite of poverty. If you had disease, I want to pull you to where you just want health because you want it and you don't want to be sick. All of these are based in the polarity that will eventually anyway tip balance because it's not sustainable. It's not sustainable to be in these extreme opposites by actually negating the other one, saying, I don't want this, but I want that. So how do we go out of this trap? The trap really is the constant swinging of the pendulum, the tug of war, pulling us to one side, the other side, thinking one side is better. I don't want the other side. I don't want to be sick. I want to be healthy. Even that, even though it seems like the most logical thing, right? It seems like, of course, I don't want to be sick. Of course, I want to be healthy. But actually, if we want health, we will find it in the middle. In the middle, it is actually the nature of our divine self. It is the nature of the I am. It is the nature of really the divine. And it is pure health, but it doesn't have the opposite of disease. So again, you know, I know it's definitely not how we usually operate, but the time has come to remember that there is a way to create perfect conditions without seeking the conditions on the right or left, or by disliking the conditions on the left and liking the conditions on the right. So I'm going to go back to the example of Divine Mother showing me her elephants. Where are the elephants? Here are the elephants. So this example really showed me how it is done. It's very simple, maybe even a little strange, but Divine Mother is a force of creation and multiplication. You can find actually her energy in all things, all beings, all animals, all plants, all minerals, all elements, all elementals. So we are kind of like beings who channel this Shakti that moves through us as beautiful love light. And she wants to be received through an open heart. That means completely open, completely in love, and then to be honored in our unique creation as we really send this life force. We emanate it from our hearts and minds onto the canvas of creation. She is the one who will mirror back to us. She will mirror back to us everything that comes from within us. Everything. Also the shadow. She will mirror that too back to us. not so willingly, but unfortunately all has to be mirrored back to us. We don't only see the result of who we are today, we so much more see the result of everything we have ever been in the past. And then we work through it. It's called karma. But karma is a big word. It's more like it's just simply how creation works. You want to see the outcome of your own doing. You want to see the outcome of your own thinking. You want to see the outcome of your own being. In a way, you want to see the outcome of your consciousness, of your love, which is part of consciousness. And so to me, high consciousness is high love. When we are fully in love with creation, how could we project anything but love onto her canvas for her to mirror back to us? And so loving life with all your heart then becomes a very important guiding principle that we have heard before. So, I think it's a quote in the Bible, love the Lord with all your heart, but actually also love life with all your heart. And in this case, it's that life with a capital L, as Divine Mother says, and that means the eternal process of creation, that life, not this little experience here that will soon mean nothing to us once we leave this experience, this little embodiment here, but loving life with a capital L. And so when we are all love, creation becomes really easy because it's just flowing out of us all the time anyway. We are constantly anyway creating all life anyway. It's happening very often unconsciously though. And very often we don't think that actually our thoughts could have any effect on our lives and on our reality. But it's all just a reflection, really. And so the story was, I was in Mu with Divine Mother, and the unconsciousness was already happening around us. And she took me to a cage. And I know you've heard the story before, but again, this is how we practice creation. And she took me to a cage with her elephants. And these elephants were being abused and they were really suffering. So she said, look at it and create solution, but without becoming the problem. So we have two options. We have actually several options, but let's look at it this way. One option is you see the suffering of elephants and you start suffering too. You really embody the suffering. You become one with it. And then, of course, you are in pain. But we want to be absolutely compassionate, sensitive, loving, but having our heart and our higher mind over every situation, because that is the solution. The solution is, of course, you are compassionate. Of course, you are sensitive. Of course, you are caring. Because also the other option is that some people also told me about, to be completely indifferent. But indifferent is not loving. We want to be loving. And so we are love in action. And so because the power is within us, you are like a doctor who can bring healing to the world, not by becoming one with the pain, recognizing the pain is here. I recognize it, but because I have urgency. There is urgency when a solution is needed. I don't have time to waste life on becoming one with the problem. So if the problem is suffering, I cannot become one with it because I'm losing life force that I need to be the solution. So if I want to be the solution, I have to close my eyes because what I see is obviously painful. Sometimes our lives are painful. I have to close my eyes, which means I am disrupting my habit of looking at the world and observing it and then reacting to it. I close my eyes. I go within. I go within. I take all my life force. I summon it all up. I summon up my strength. And within me, despite all circumstances, I actually conjure up the solution. The solution has to come from within us. And the solution is the solution of the loving divine heart within us. It is the solution that is the ultimate solution. It's almost like within us is the big band-aid. We can totally put a huge band-aid over whatever situation. And that band-aid is a permanent solution because now we put the divine band-aid over it. And you know, like how kids have those band-aids with little pictures on them. Imagine if you pull that huge band-aid from your heart with the new solution. And the solution, for example, in this case, would be these happy elephants playing with Divine Mother. And so she asked me to do it. So it was not easy because, again, my first reaction was, oh no, poor elephants. But she said, no, 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 that's the wrong way to do it. You need to go within and create solution. Don't waste your time here. We need you. And so immediately I had to go within. I got in touch with my solution. I conjured up the new, which you see here, kind of similar thing, happy elephants singing and dancing with Divine Mother. And so imagine you put that big band-aid over the screen of your life, and that is now your new picture. The new picture came from you. And with this new picture, you see is the solution. And then Divine Mother will do something absolutely miraculous. So let's say you come up with this picture, happy elephants, you know, putting some light over Divine Mother. And then she multiplies it. She multiplies it for you. So instead of having 2 elephants and happy Divine Mother, now you will see 100 happy elephants. And I'm using this story because that's exactly what she did. And then suddenly she's like, oh, you came up with a solution. And so the solution, and she multiplied it. She made it bigger and better. So that's how it is with our own lives. That's how it is with what we are dealing here with. It is not easy. I know it's not easy. And it's easy for those who already have perfect lives. Because when you're looking at a perfect life, you can now just innovate, improve, and to be, of course, assisting the world to benefit, you know, from the perfect life that you have. So it is, of course, so much more difficult when we are in pain. And of course, the physical body, right? It's always, I always say it's in your face because you are in it and we have those physical sensations that run through actually our nervous system. And so how do we do it? We still have to do it the same way. And it takes a lot of effort. It takes so much effort, but we do have so much power within us. And that power is not the power of this personality self. When we go within, we don't search for solution in my personality or personality. That would be so, you know, really not effective. We are searching for a solution. We are going deep within to actually go through this elevator that runs through us. Again, let me just find some picture here that explains this well. We have to self-realize this. The human body is part of the structure, but actually there is so much more to us, and it is visible to every mystic. And so it's not like a fairy tale, it's not random. There is very powerful architecture of this being that you are. And so going within and operating the system from top down. That means the divine self, your God self, is the solution. The spirit self is the solution. And it has to run down. And the body, you know, we have to focus. We have the incredible potential for mastery, even mastery over our physicality. So it takes a little bit of practice, but it is every day meditating, becoming a master of thyself by self-realizing this big structure that we are. And so it's not just like I close my eyes and here I am in pain. No, there is a powerful process of moving through this physicality into higher realms and to bring down the light of God, to bring down the solution. Again, you know, I quote Yogananda, but maybe some of the quotes are not exactly accurate. Gurga would always know the accurate quotes. But I do believe that when Yogananda, and please read some Yoganandas, even if it's just a little book about healing your life, you know, healing anything in the life, whether it is physical or non-physical. And that would be in the light of God, you are completely healthy. If we can drop all the thoughts that have created the condition and drop all the karma that might also have created the condition in the light of God, we are all completely healthy right now. So power, exercising your power, but not the power of the ego, but the power of our divine self. So, focusing on things, shape-shifting yourself, not being the habitual us. The habitual us is the big problem, of course, because the habitual us is constantly in certain level of energy, maybe a little bigger, like maybe a little smaller, like a balloon going, a little bigger, a little smaller. We want to be a big balloon every day and always expanding into more. And that takes a little bit of practice with meditation and really going within, self-realizing, sitting in silence, practicing silent meditation, even if you do some work like what we used to do with Oren, guided meditations, all of it is about shapeshifting so that we can actually break through the limitation of our habit. Our habit of being us. It's like once you say, I know you, you are saying your habit of being you is so strong that I know your habit of being you. But what about if there is a new you every day, the new divine self? So we must really, realize that reality is a projection of past, and not just this past, but all other past that our soul has dreamt. And if we want to have soul power, we need to go to the higher realms of our own being, moving just from the personality self, from the body self, through the pillar of light that exists. It's like a portal, it's a wormhole that really opens through us, and we can rise. Now, Yogananda gave us 4 steps that are the shortcut to actual self-realization. I say if you practice these every day, you will see big results. And it doesn't matter how long it takes. And I mean, is it going to be a month? Is it going to be 2? Doesn't matter. The thing is that now is the time for self-realization. Now is the time for liberation. When I was in Encinitas with our little group on Sunday, when I entered Yogananda's hermitage where he lived, and when he really anchored so many amazing vibrations that are still there and ever expanding, you can have incredible insights. You might even have really divine experiences within the hermitage. And he was clearly just telling me, now it's the time to let go of all weight. Now it's the time to become a free bird that will go with the energy. The energy will come, and we don't want to be burdened by anything. Our burdens in this world are mainly caused through that lower human mind, and also any time when we do not act or didn't act according to divine will. Remembering that divine will has never been suffering. Divine will has never been pain. That is not divine will. That is just the result of actually the lower human unconscious doing, thinking, and feeling. And so the more we can actually self-realize all of this and let go of all those burdens just like that, nothing has to stick to us if we make it so. We must have that divine confidence. We do not need to repeat the same thoughts again and again about something that happened 10 years ago. And that includes just this lifetime, we can let go of everything right now. So if you imagine that little bird, that's what Yogananda was showing me. The little bird had 2 big weights on the right wing, on the left wing. And Yogananda said, look at this little bird that we are. We cannot fly. Let us fly. Now the energies will come and they will be asking us to fly. So what are the 4 steps? They are recorded actually in detail on YouTube on the Green Tara Guru channel. So you can go back. I put them in a playlist of Yogananda. And I recommend doing them every day. The number 1 step that is absolutely essential for the character that we are in this world is cleansing. It's very easy. Yogananda said, it's very easy. And the more confidence we have, the faster we can accomplish it. So let's say the human being here is burdened by so much. It's true, not just from this lifetime, but imagine all the other lifetimes. And so when we get to see, all the things that have ever happened through the soul, and they really didn't really happen, but, it's all just one big projection of the soul, then anytime the being was not centered in divine will, the being was creating patterns that we call karma, but I see them as sediments, as like layers upon layers around the person. And so we want to let go of all the layers. We can let it go. The more confidently we let go, the faster it goes. And so the number one thing, purification. I'm going to take us through the process now briefly, but close your eyes and come with us. When we all do it together, when we all say no to those layers that have been burdening us, just see yourself as a beautiful bird that is now wanting to fly high into these higher realms of your own being. Now we will be in these ascension energies. We want to be completely free. It's okay to just drop it all. It really is possible, and it's okay to do that. And so the habit of the self, that might even be a habit of many other lifetimes, we can throw it all into the living fire of God. In the hermitage in Encinitas, where Yogananda lived, in his living room, there is a fireplace. And so as you enter the hermitage, the fireplace is right in front of you in the living room. And so Yogananda would always invite us to throw all of these patterns of really imperfection. He called it the cloak of humanness. You can take off the cloak of humanness with all the pain, all the suffering, and all the things like unconsciousness, just unconsciousness, and throw it all into the living fire of God. This is what the yogis would do. Purification by fire. And so this is the living fire of God that transmutes all imperfections back into just perfect neutral life force that now is available to be used again to create something beautiful. So this is the transmuting living fire of God. We give everything to this living fire of God that has been sticky in our lives. And when we are already clean, we do it for humanity. We do it for each other so that we can rise together as one. The second step with Yogananda is going to a higher realm through your own spine. Your own spine is an elevator. And so we move through this elevator to the higher realm, which is available to us next. And it is the realm of what we call angelic healers. Angelic healers are beings that exist absolutely 100%, and they are incredibly dedicated to increasing the light of God within all beings. And they are always here to assist us. But because these loving beings always need our permission, we give them the permission to work on our bodies. We have physical, we have etheric, we have mental, emotional. All of these bodies can be transformed by the power of these angelic healers. In a way, it's almost like going in an elevator and you go to the fifth dimension and you can just really experience incredible increase of your light. So you see the first two steps, cleansing, we let go of dirt, and then we increase inner light. And so this is where we can receive new light. We can shapeshift here so much. We can change our aura. We can change our physical conditions here. Everything here can be healed very easily and very efficiently and just so generously. There is no. Everything's a yes here. And so this is the land beyond duality. This is where these angelic healers play with light. This is where they can really transform the mind of the human being. They can liberate us even more. And so this is the second step. Always remembering, number one, we want to get clean, and then we start increasing our inner light. so that it can shine all around you and create more and more beautiful light body for your more and more beautiful experiences of creation and of existence. From here, we go even higher through the elevator that is within the spine. And so we rise to a dimension that we could also call the sixth dimension. We can call it many different things. Let's call it the solar plane. At the level of the solar plane, you will find that very large being that doesn't have a face, arms, or legs. It's your own soul. And the soul is a being in the solar plane. Within the soul are all lifetimes. Within the soul are all parallel realities. All the characters the soul has ever dreamt are within the soul. In a way, this is the Akashic records of the soul. Within the soul is also the character that you are now, or we are now in this world. And so this little character is coming into this big, big, big self-realization of the soul at this level. And this is where we can gain true soul power. Soul power is absolutely essential. It's something that is usually missing in the character that is down here in this dimension, battling with this reality. So if we want soul power, we have to get to know our soul. This is also where a lot of karma can be resolved at the level of the soul. And this is where we can truly wake up from a dream. We get in touch with the dreamer at the level of the soul. So the soul is the dreamer. And the soul can now really start acting through us in a whole new way when we contact our own soul at the level of the soul plane. And so we want to come here every day because in a way, the film director can be found here. Solutions can be found here. Resolutions can be found here. This is where all those lifetimes are stored, like movies in a cloud. Seemingly real, but also not real. This is where time and space ceases to exist. The time and space reality only exists within the dreams of the soul. And so this is where we truly go through a big, big shift when we become one with the soul. To become one with the soul is to also let go of our identification with the physical body. The physical body is wonderful. It has a high potential that we will soon realize. But here we want to become much more formless. And so every day we practice formlessness within the soul to be more like just a field of consciousness, to dissolve all identification with a form. This is the key to more and more power. The next power available to us is the spirit power. And so there are levels of power, soul power, and then beyond that, even spirit power. It requires complete letting go of identity, becoming formless consciousness. When we can become one with the ocean of consciousness, we go through incredible transformation. That means we let go of thoughts, because thoughts belong to the person down here, not to our soul and not to our spirit. The soul and the spirit are actually quite distinctly different, and yet the soul is within the spirit, and then the spirit is within the soul. The difference within the soul and the spirit is that the soul is still an individualized field. So we have many, many, many infinite number of souls. And within the soul are the characters. So again, we are just one character within the soul. So to be able to go to the higher level of your own being, You want to first become one with the soul, to be all that is within the soul, and then to move even beyond into the spirit and to become one with that non-individualized consciousness, which is the spirit. So in a way, when we speak about all that is the spirit. And within the spirit, we let go of all. There is no person, there is no mind, there is no body. There are no emotions. And with all this incredible power now available to us, when we bring it back with us through the levels that we came, because, you know, we always go through our multidimensional spine, which is the elevator. So just like in the elevator, when you go up and then you come down, you go through the same pathway. And so coming back down and bringing the gift of this consciousness will change our lives. And we go back to the soul. And the soul is so excited always because we are actually achieving some kind of self-realization here when we do this. The character is waking up. The character in the movie now is actually gaining consciousness, realizing the dream nature of reality. And so we deliver ourselves to the soul. And then we come back down into the world of the angels, the angelic healers. And we just so gratefully always promise we'll be back because we can increase in our luminosity. And so coming back down, we go back into maybe Yogananda's hermitage, back to the fireplace, just giving great gratitude to these great masters that keep the living fire of God burning in this world, despite the darkness. And then we come back down to the character that we are, but the character is waking up from the dream. And so the character is becoming lighter and lighter. And the character is fulfilling her and his purpose. And that is to wake up in this dream. And so this is our pathway of self-realization. This every day. How long did it take? 5 minutes? It's not something I came up with. It's not something I visualized. It's something that Yogananda gave me. And because he asked me to do it every day, I did it every day. And he asked me every day, same steps. And then suddenly, one day, there was a huge breakthrough in what we call reality. And now the mirror started to reflect back beautiful realities with no attachment. That is the key too. We don't want to be attached to anything in the mirror. Always realizing where the projection is coming from. So when I meditate, I always focus in the heart, getting in touch with that kind of thoughtless state of sweetness and happiness. And then I move into the spine and I move through the spine, first just through the physical spine, but then I start moving into higher planes of existence through the spine. Yeah, beautiful. Thank you. And so again, attachment. Let's talk about attachment. So let's say you are now projecting beautiful reality onto the canvas of your world. It wouldn't make sense to run to the screen and to grab something and say, I don't want to let go of this. This must always be mine. So we've had so many teachings about attachment, non-attachment. The thing is that if we understand the nature of this dream reality, then we enjoy creating. We enjoy experimenting, not with darkness, but actually we enjoy experimenting with the power of our heart, higher mind, consciousness, our ability to be the architects, to be the innovators of creation. We enjoy it. We do it lightly. We know the world is a mirror. And so we do not believe what's in the mirror. We cannot believe it. It is nothing to be believed. It is a movie that's being projected by us. And so we have to go into, no, I don't believe it. It's not real. But it is there. It exists. That's the difference. So what is real? The only real thing about us here is really the spirit. The spirit is real. And so when we go to the spirit and we come back, we become more and more, I would say, I always compare it to the archetype of the fool in the 22 archetypes in the tarot cards. The fool has seen it all. The character that the yogis refer to as Dattatreya, the one who sees the world and doesn't believe the world because it knows it is not real, but it is there. So then we look at it and say, oh, okay, so this is what it looks like right now. Well, let me go within. I am the solution bringer, not only to your own life, but of course to the collective and to the entire planet here. And so we are the solution bringers. So we are the solution bringers. And so then we bring a solution. Let's say we create perfect lives for everyone. Everyone's projecting perfection onto the mirror, onto the screen. And then we have to completely be non-attached to it too, because it's just another movie. It's a nice one. So running to the screen, no matter why, I want this. I'm holding on to this. This is mine. You know, oh, I want this again and again. Let's rewind the movie again and again. I want this every day. No, that's not freedom. The freedom comes from knowing your power to project reality and to, in a way, be free from it. Free from reality. It is not denial. It is actually the highest state of being. That is, I'm observing this reality with no attachment to it, whether it's good or bad, but I'm the solution bringer. So if I can see some room for improvement, you bet we're going to project that improvement onto the screen. And again, experimenting, we see what happens next. For me, that also applies to our own physical body. Little bit less attachment, little bit more attachment, more detachment, you know. Yes, I am in this vehicle. I'm going to do the best I can so that the vehicle works well. But if there is a condition, I am not the body. It is this body that my consciousness is experiencing itself through in this world. And so my number one focus is always divine self. Divine self and complete knowing of your own divine self. And then allowing it to run through you in this world. And that surrender without resistance. No resistance is important. Anytime we feel resistance, anytime we feel resistance, the resistance will be reflected back to us. Anytime we feel attachment, the attachment will be reflected back to us. And so we want to be free flowing in freedom. And then knowing that you are constantly projecting onto the canvas of your reality and the collective reality. And that if we all help each other to be very good projectors, there is no such need for things like ownership, trying to own something, hoarding something. All of that ceases to exist because we are in a world of infinite potentiality. If we realize that all is available to us when we let go of all these limitations, then we really can go into our full power. And that is, we are incredible instruments for the divine self to express itself here in this world and to bring heaven to earth. Since we are recording this, I'm going to do like maybe 5 more minutes of creation. How is it done? There is such thing as the quantum field. The quantum field is all around us, through us, within us, everywhere. And so when beings like Yogananda get very good at mastering creation, they just go into the quantum field and they pull creation from the quantum field according to their own architecture, which means we would call it a miracle. But we all have the same ability. It is within our highest potential to draw the available quantum particles to us. And this is important, available quantum particles to us, to give them an imprint. What are they to become? Let's say you are building a new home and you're building it from the quantum field. First, you need to create the loving desire. Loving desire is very different from desire of wanting and needing. It is more like love is giving birth to creation. It comes from the heart. Loving desire is not attachment. And so within your heart, you're birthing a new home. And it's being birthed, that beautiful home, a temple. Let's call it a temple instead of a home. Let's build a temple here. And so you designing a temple. Now your higher mind is the architect. And so the heart is almost like Divine Mother, and the higher mind is like Divine Father, and together they will create. So the mother gives birth to that beautiful divine temple, and Divine Father comes and creates the architecture. And so now we know why we need the walls. We know what will go inside the temple. We see the floors, we see the foundation, we see the roofs. All of it is created. It has to be. So that it's not just random. We want to be very deliberate about this. After all, it's a temple. And so when the temple is standing in the mind, being actually fueled by the heart, then now we go into the quantum field, which is all around us, and we call all the available quantum particles that wish to become this temple. This is how creation happens at its best. It's called miracles. And so all these quantum particles, they come to you because your confidence, your will, your strength is calling them to you. And now they actually have to read the blueprints that you created. It's like reading a map. It's like, when you build a house. So here is the plan. It is the plan. And so the quantum particles now come and they read the plan and they now know what to become. Because what else is creation than quantum particles becoming things or really experiences, whether it is in this world or any other world? And so the design is important. It is the geometry. So geometry is essential to this. We are creating a temple filled with geometry. And so the quantum particles now know exactly what to become. Yes, they start to rearrange themselves exactly according to the plan. That's it. Now, because we are in the world, where we also want to have fun with creation without attachment. We want to now invite this blueprint with all the quantum particles. When everything is clear to you, you see the beautiful temple. The quantum particles have become it. And then we use the living fire of God. This is an important step in our creation process. This is, alchemical process of creation. We place our design with all the quantum particles into the living fire of God in a cauldron. Again, cauldron is a mystical tool that exists within the quantum field, and it becomes visible to the mystic. You can see many, many drawings of cauldrons in ancient texts because it exists. It just is not visible to everyone. And so everything is in that cauldron of creation. Now, as a creator, you want to completely remove all imperfections. And so you simply allow the living fire of God to permeate your creation. I like to stir with a spoon in my cauldron of creation. And then you take all that is remaining from the blueprint you created. And now you use air. Air is an important creation really element. And so we truly do want to use step by step this process, engaging all the elements like this. And now you hold in your hand, whether it is your right hand or your left hand, you hold all that came out of the cauldron, and now you blow it onto the quantum field and you let go. Letting go is really essential to creation. Because imagine if we are creator beings, we know it is done. And now the intelligent quantum particles that have been actually transmuted by the living fire of God with the element of air, they now will be going through the quantum field and they will start becoming your creation. They will start to become it. Impatience would not be a quality of a divine creator. We don't run to the screen of creation and say, where is it? I already created it. Where is it? Show it to me now. No, we don't do that. We let it be in complete freedom and knowing that Divine Mother will 100% and actually million of percent multiply your creation and give you so much more than you ask for. We do ask not from a need, not from a want. We ask because we are creator beings for creation to be the process that we love. We love the process of creation. We know our power to create every day something new because our creativity, it was taken away from us in this world really through the schooling system and through the jobs, but through the money system too, because it took away creation and creativity. But now is the time to move beyond it. Now, no matter what is going on the canvas of of our lives, we want to go within and create and create and create and create in complete freedom just because it's joyful to create. That is real creator consciousness. So hopefully this was really helpful, and let us go and create. And I'm going to post it again on YouTube. I posted the one from yesterday too, because sometimes we want to go back. I like to go even back to like old videos from like 2020, because sometimes you forget, all the things that Divine Mother shared, and we can find again just this very simple process, step by step. And so let's go and play in the quantum field. I'm going to join you there. So today we have one more event, and it's going to be at 5 p.m. Pacific. And then we are taking a break because we are going, some of you with me, to Sedona, which will be super exciting. And we will continue our events somewhere around probably the 22nd or the 23rd of March. We'll see what unfolds. So the solstice, so that everyone knows, solstice is this year on the 19th of March. Again, it is the most harmonic portal, all the solstices and equinoxes. Again, also registration is open for our amazing gathering that we will have here in California, north of San Francisco in Bodega Bay. If you want to join us for the solstice, then that will be on June 20th. We want to take advantage of these harmonic portals that open around the earth and that allow us to actually experience so much more of our ascended self. So thank you so much, everyone. Enjoy creating, and I look forward to being with you again.